I'm a 28-year-old woman, and I've been no contact with my mother for nearly a decade, until I got a voicemail last month that changed everything. It came from her neighbor, someone I didn't even know existed, telling me my mother had suffered a stroke and there was no one else. At first, I didn't even recognize the voice. I played the message twice, then deleted it. 2 days later, I was sitting in the hospital room, looking down at the woman who spent years making sure I knew I wasn't wanted. I was born after she had a miscarriage, something traumatic. I don't deny that, but instead of therapy or healing, she treated me like the living reminder of everything she lost. She once told me, when I was 5, that I ruined her life. I remember it clearly. I had spilled juice on the carpet. She didn't just yell. She looked me straight in the eyes and said her marriage wouldn't have fallen apart if I hadn't been born. When I was 8, my father left. He packed his things in the middle of the night and never came back. When people asked, my mother said it was because he couldn't handle raising a difficult child. I didn't ask questions, I already knew it was somehow my fault. That same year, I was diagnosed with chronic asthma. My mother would groan every time I needed to go to the emergency room. She even said once, while driving me to urgent care during an asthma attack, that she should have just left me in the hospital nursery. There was a school trip to a museum when I was 11. I needed a refill on my inhaler that same week. She chose not to buy it, told me to learn to control it. I stayed home. I stopped asking for things after that. Every time the utility bills came in, she'd hold them up in the kitchen like they were awards and say, "You cost more than you'll ever be worth." Birthdays? I didn't have them. I mean, I had the date, but not the celebration. If someone gave me a gift, a neighbor, a teacher, she either returned it or claimed it for herself. There was a doll I got once that I found in her room weeks later, untouched, but out of my reach. She got remarried when I was 14 to a man who pretended I didn't exist. He never said hello, never looked me in the eye. Once, when I was walking past him in the hallway, I heard him mutter that I was just her past life's residue. I didn't understand what that meant then, but I do now. I was the price of her regret. That's all I'd ever been. When I got accepted into the local community college, I printed out the letter and stuck it on the fridge. That night, I found it in the trash. She laughed and told me I was wasting everyone's time, said I'd drop out within a year and come crawling back. I didn't. I worked 2 jobs through high school, one at a fast food chain and the other walking dogs in the neighborhood. I saved every cent, and when I turned 19, I packed up and left. No announcement, no goodbye. Just a note that read, "Don't wait up." For the next 5 years, I couch surfed with classmates, rented the cheapest rooms I could find, and slowly clawed my way into stability. I graduated with a nursing degree, passed my board exams, and got licensed. I didn't tell anyone from my old life. I changed my number, my address, everything. My name stayed the same, but it felt new because no one was using it to hurt me anymore. And then came the voicemail. I didn't go immediately. I waited a day, then another. I told myself I just wanted to see what she looked like now. I don't know what I expected, maybe weakness, maybe fear. What I didn't expect was that same look she always gave me, even now with half her face paralyzed and her body limp from the stroke. The same smirk, the same air of superiority, like time hadn't moved forward at all. She looked at me and said, "With effort, I always knew you'd come crawling back." She sounded smug, like the last 10 years had just been a phase I was destined to outgrow. I stood there for a second, then smiled back and told her, not quite, because I hadn't come back to be her daughter. I had come back to be something else entirely. She was broke. Her second husband had left her 2 years ago. No savings. No family who'd answer her calls. Just me. The daughter she raised to feel like a debt, and now the only one holding the pen on what came next. I signed the hospital forms, arranged for her discharge.